Hi folks, Bob Collins for Diver Supply. So this past weekend, I was in Boston for the Boston Sea Rover Show. Met a bunch of folks up there. Want to say thank you for everybody that stopped by to say hi. I'll be back next year, and I hope to see more of you at the Sea Rover Show. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Atomic, it's called the BC2. Now, there is an Atomic BC1 that's pretty different from this one. And this one's not necessarily new out. It's been out for about a year. It's just the first chance I've been able to get my hands on one to make a video for you. And what's interesting about this BC is how, I'm going to call it substantial. The material this BC is made out of is considered one of the toughest materials out there that you can make a BC out of without necessarily making it too ridiculously heavier. So what do I mean by substantial? It's thick, and you could understand easily why they might say that it would be almost indestructible. Now, I'm not going to take a knife and poke at it, but you can just feel the material and see that it's got some abrasion resistant to it. It's going to dry pretty quick because of the slick surface. And like I said, it's a back inflate BC, and I'll turn it around here in a minute. I'm going to show you a couple of things about the shape of the bladder. And of course, it has a kind of a unique tank strap back here. But like I said, I'll turn that around in a minute. But let's talk about the front. As we come down here on the shoulders, there's a material underneath here that's kind of that quick dry material underneath. So the water would run off pretty quick on the front of this, but of course you would still have some moisture back here in the back, so that would take a little while to dry. As we come down, we've got a D-ring right here, and we've got, it's kind of a pre-bent D-ring, but it's not your standard like round material pre-bent D-ring. It looks like, and I think you can see it there, it looks like a triangle, and from what I understand, they say it's got a titanium coating. Because of the triangle, whatever you put on here is going to go to the point. And I find that would be probably pretty helpful. We've got a right shoulder knob pull dump right here that goes, of course, and I think everybody that watches the channel understands how I feel about right shoulder pull dumps. We've got a chest strap here now. This chest strap is not adjustable like we see on some of the BCs out there. And I would say pretty much this is a male designed BC. Right here we've got some shoulder release buckles, and our D-ring, the D-ring again has a nice molded feel. I'll try to get some close-ups of this stuff so that you can see what I'm talking about. It has a molded feel, so when you put your finger in it to snug down, it's got that, it's kind of like it fits your fingers. Here is our quick release, pretty easy and simple to use. Here's our duck bill. I tend to call them duck bills, and the reason I say that, it kind of looks like Donald Duck's bill, and it helps people remember what parts and pieces are instead of everybody just saying this and that and this and that. To me, this duck bill, it's kind of different because this red material that you see on here has kind of a sticky feel to it. And if you watch the Aqualung Axiom video that I did, I talk about the inflator has kind of a sticky feel to it. And to me, it just makes it easier to maintain your grasp on it. So when you're putting your fingers on it and you're lifting up, it's a little easier to hold on to. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this big, wide piece of plastic there. Here on this side, you're going to notice we've got two compartments. Now, this compartment is removable. There are some bolts right here that you can take out, and this top compartment, which has a zipper closure on the top, it's small, and it would hold a set of EMT shears without any trouble. On the outside, it's got the grommets for you to mount a small knife on here. You could also put a retractor inside the pocket with the connector sticking out. If you get this, make sure you look in this pocket, because there's a crotch strap in here. It's got this kind of a cool looking little D-ring. I think you can see it pretty good right there. I'll show you in the back when I turn this around. It has a connection point in the lower back of the BC. Now, crotch straps are not necessarily standard on most equipment or most BCs, but it definitely is on this one. There's another little connection point right here. I think you can see that with my finger underneath it. You'll notice that this upper pocket has a mesh drain across the bottom of it. Now, this is your weight pocket for your weight pouch. It has a zipper on it and a really small connector in here, and it's another one of those connector points where you could attach an SMB or whatever you wanted to as far as that's concerned. Underneath here and in the back, since we're talking about, you'll see there's another connection point at the back part, so that when you would be diving, you would be reaching here and not here on a connection point on this. Now, when we get to the weight pocket, these weight pockets are kind of unique. And what I mean by that, you've got this good size handle sticking out here. Now, if I pull on the handle, I think you could hear that click. You hear it locking back in place. So I'm gonna pull this out so you can see this. They call it a weight pouch, and that's fine, but it's a 10-pound weight pocket pouch, and it's got a nice zipper on it. The advantages of zipper over some of the Velcro weight pouches that we see, usually the zipper doesn't wear out. And as you look at this pouch, you're going to see there's a tab right here. Let's see if I can let you see that. I think you can see that pretty well right there. And it has a purpose here. I think you can see that. It moves. When you slide this into the pocket and push it, and you'll hear it lock in place. Now, if you pull it, it's going to open those little pincers and let that slide out. But the reason they put this tab on there is so that you can check that the pocket is locked in without pulling on the handle. If you pull on the tab, it won't come out. So that gives you some good understanding that the pouch is locked in place. Right back here, this other piece of red, that is kind of a stretchy, so that it keeps this bladder formed in. And you're going to see it when I turn it around. The bladder actually, and I think you can kind of see it from here, the bladder's wider at the bottom than it is at the top. Over here on the left side, we've pretty much got the same as what we've got on the right side. It's got a cummerbund, a stretchy cummerbund here that's adjustable. It's got your standard belly buckle situation here. Let's turn it around and take a look at the back. Back here on the back, and I'm going to put this on the tank in a few minutes, so if you'll stick with me. Back here on the back, we've got a left shoulder pull dump, where you've got a wire that runs through that inflator-deflator hose. And so if you pull, then it will dump off the left shoulder. That's pretty effective. Again, a lot of times people are addicted to holding on to the inflator-deflator. Over here on the right shoulder, we've got the right shoulder dump I was talking about. Down here, we've got an outside position butt dump. And here is the ring at the back for the crotch strap. It's got a fairly stiff, hard piece of plastic and a piece of kind of sticky rubber here for your single tank adapter, per se, is what that is. And pretty slick looking setup. Now the tank strap, and again, I'm going to put this on the tank and show you what I'm talking about in a minute, and it'll be a better description than it is here. But this is a ratcheted type of tank strap that's different from anything else that's out there. And of course, like I said, you can see how the bladder is narrow here, but wider here at the hip area. I'm going to turn this on the side, and that's this zipper right here where you see Atomic. Just in front of it, there's a zipper here, and that zipper is for trim weights. Pretty unique that they, and if you look at some of the different videos, think about the Atomic BC that has those trim pockets that you do the unzip up here at the shoulder. Well, this is basically at the shoulder level, and you can put your trim weights in here. So I'm going to put it on a tank and show you how this unique ratcheting system works. So stick with me. Now, back here on the back, we've got a quick detach valve strap, which I find very, very beneficial on BCs. It really makes swapping tanks over during your surface interval so much easier. What's really unique is the tank strap that's on the BC2. It has a special ratchet mechanism, and the strap is made out of like a corrugated strap material. They say it's like super durable, and I can believe it. It's not a flimsy little nylon strap like you see on most tank straps, or some of you people call them cam straps. But this one is unique, and I've got it on here. I'm going to show you how it comes off. You put your fingers here underneath, and this is the tail of this is kind of sealed into the strap, and it's just being held in there so it's not just flapping around. So if I pull up on it, you can see it comes out now. And over here on the ratchet mechanism, you see there's a red button here. If I push on the red button and lift up on this cam here, I think you can see that. Let me try to get it against the yellow. I think you can see me lift up on that. And now it loosens. And in essence, I can move this. If I lift up on this, I can move this on the tank, because you can see how loose it makes it on the tank. But this is actually made for tanks that are between that 7.25 and 8 inch. That red button here, if I push on that red button, it just released this ratchet even more. So if this valve strap wasn't connected right now, I could just pick this up and lift it off the tank just by pushing on that red button and have it pop loose. When I pushed on the button actually returned into position. So if I pick this up, move this over to my other tank, and now I wanted to snug it up, really all I'm going to do is pull on the tail sticking out here. Could you hear that ratchet? Let me loosen it again. See if my mic can pick it up. I think you heard it just then. So I snugged it up like that. And now all I have to do to get it really cinched in there is on this lever right here. All I'm going to do is push it across, push it down, and it locks it in place. The tail is sticking out there. I'm just going to push it back in the groove to get it to seal down and not be sticking out there. Pretty cool stuff. And this is unique to the Atomic BC2. Now I'm going to turn around and show you a couple other things. Hope you've stuck with me. And back here, of course, we see we got a right shoulder dump. We've got the left shoulder dump here. And over here, we've got a butt pull dump back here. So let's turn around. Again, I appreciate you sticking with me. Let's look at the inside here. And what I'll say is, this reminds me of like a super comfortable high-end car seat, like a Mercedes or even more like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or something. It's got this diamond sort of material, and it's very padded, really nice. Now, if I pull up on this little cover right here, there's a carry handle hidden right underneath here that gives you some extra benefit. Now, something I haven't talked about earlier in the video is the inflator deflator hose. I think you can see that doesn't have an inflator deflator on it. It's just got, I kind of call it like a garden hose screw-on attachment there. So this unit does not come normally with an inflator deflator, and you have to ask yourself, so why? Well, what Atomic is big on is Atomic is big on safe seconds being built into the, and they call it an Octoflate. And some of you may know it from a term where the first ones that came out were called Air 2s with like Scuba Pro, that sort of thing. But the real term is Octoflate, and Atomic calls it an SS1, Safe Second 1. And it attaches here. Now I've got one over here. You've got your standard inflator deflator with your inflate button here, and your inflate button here, and your deflate button there, and there's your oral inflation. And here's the spot where you screw it into, like I was saying, kind of, it's like a garden hose connection on here, and then you snug it down. And of course, here's your low pressure connection point right there. I've got the Air 2, and I'll try to get let's see if I can get a close up of the Air 2. So the Air 2 has a inflate button. It's got your deflate button. It's got more of a normal mouthpiece. On the front, here's your purge cover button, like on a standard second stage. If you go with this, some people will eliminate their yellow hose octo. Please remember that most people in the world, probably about 85% of the people in the world, are trained to look for yellow hose octos. So the adage that, oh, you don't need a yellow hose octo if you've got one of these. Personally, if I'm diving with one of these, I keep my yellow hose octo. If you use an Octoflate, which is fine, it's fine, make sure that on your primary hose, and I've also, I did a video, if you look in the menu here, about octos. A lot of times people who put on octo inflates who are going to give away their primary, it's still on a 28-inch hose, and most octos are on 36 or 40-inch hose, so that you're able to keep that person away from you a little bit. So if you get this unit and you get an Octoflate, then please lengthen the primary hose on your regulator so that you've got a little bit more room to work with as far as getting that regulator and keeping that out of your panic diver away from you. It's quite an impressive BC. Now, in the description, I'm going to put the lift capabilities for the different sizes, and I think I described that basically these units weigh about 10 pounds. Not the lightest, but not necessarily the heaviest units out there. Extremely interesting in the design, the material of construction, the features, even the tank strap. I like it a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please reach down and hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny. We're just about now at 12,300 subscribers, almost 2 million views. Appreciate you. And if you leave a comment, I'll do my best to get to them, like I said before. Sometimes I use your comments as fuel for videos that I do, and I appreciate you putting comments and questions down there. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. See you again soon.